Welcome to MLB Prop Pick Show, powered by the Bat on Covers. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30 a.m. Good to have Derek Carty back beside me here. Good day to everybody there watching as always. It's a nice little community we got here, bud. I enjoy always seeing the same names. Hello, we're back department, says Yahtzee. Hope you enjoyed some time off from Technics. Everybody's saying welcome back. Milo saying hello, hello. Let me know in the chat how many people were on Jack Kokinowitz's under 4.5 strikeouts that somehow opened yesterday at plus 105 at 365, plus 102 at Caesars. That was about as easy. Like in hindsight, everyone's always like, oh, I wish I could put more money down on a bet. That was the play of the month, maybe the last 60 days, I think, in terms of how far off the pricing was.
Yeah, it was a good one. I certainly hit that one myself. The guy wasn't like his minor league numbers are terrible. The leash probably wasn't going to be that long. He's facing the Mariners though, so
but that was overpriced in.
I know exactly. So that I mean, it's a perfect reason why you want to use projections and not just like narratives. And if you're just looking at the Mariners strike out so much, of course, why are you going to bet the under on anybody? Well, you're going to bet the under if the line's wrong. And the line was wrong.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Like if you're looking at Derek's numbers, if you're looking at the normal guys who pop up, right? Like if you're a day-to-day better with Derek's numbers and you're looking at everything, you're not hitting everything. You know the guys that pop up every day and you're like, okay, maybe not this guy, maybe not that guy. But when you see like random guys jump in, like today we'll get to one and like there's a sneaky name in there, you're like, ooh, we should invest. I need to investigate that one a little more. So it's a really cool thing from my perspective, going from like what is like a bottom-up approach with Derek numbers and then using the top-down approach with it to reverse engineer. And it's such an easy way because there's always a path there.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. So I'm off today. We're doing this. The wife is ringing the doorbell. She's going to be absolutely thrilled that I'm not answering her right now, but we got to get to things right now. You're looking for these numbers. If you're looking for this, head over to Covers, head over to the prop projections there in MLB. You can find all these numbers powered by the Bat. Also, release procedures. If you're new to the show here, this is how we do things. We'll tell you the book, the secondary book, the game, the prop market, the player, the under, the over. And that's what we do. And if you're new to Derek Carty, he has Super Mario tones for his messages. He's always had them. It's great. Nothing wrong with it. I love when people are like, I'm hearing noises. We better get to this before old Josh gets in a lot of trouble here with the misses. All right, release number 1. Love this. It's going to open up at other books. It's going to move. We're at FanDuel. It's a giant number.
Wait, I thought you said we're at ESPN.
Oh, I don't know if can we get which. Oh, we can't have Hard Rock. I don't know if I know we can't show Hard Rock because I think it's blocked.
I think we've done ESPN before. I could be wrong though.
Oh, boom! There's our betting man. Milo, was it spelled wrong in the graphic, or is it just me fumbling over my own words? We need to know. for future use. All right, let's go. We're going to, speaking of that, we're going back to LA. And these are like my favorite, like in another group I'm in, just calling them scams, right? Like just finding these, like they're just edges basically, but like there were a few scams yesterday. I think you had like 5 guys projected for under 75 pitches starting yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's lots of variance with it, but let's go. We are Seattle, LA. We are on pitcher strikeouts.
Move 5 points, but that's still going to be the best line.
It's the best line there. All right, let's go. Pitcher strikeouts here. While it's there, Seattle starting pitcher Brian Wu. Under 3.5 strikeouts, plus 140. I'm just trying to do the math there. Under 3.5, plus 140. The move on ESPN from, like, it's nice that they have the alt unders, right? So that's kind of like a Bet River Sync too. That's fantastic. But when you're looking at other books that just flip, usually you're not getting 40s.
No, you're not. I
And
was this morning when I was looking at this, every book was 4.5, except Rivers had a plus 118
yeah,
on the 3.5. And I'm like, we're gonna get a 125. We're gonna get it maybe a 30.
yeah,
FanDuel flipped to 138.
which is
ESPN's got
huge
this,
too.
got this 140. Most other books are still at the 4.5, but like don't take the 4.5. It's like super heavily juiced. They're all like minus 190, Pinnacle's minus 219. So if you can't get it at ESPN or FanDuel, I'd wait for another book to flip and see if you can get it at like a plus 130 or something. But Wu is a guy. I mean, Wu's a good pitcher, but he's just been dealing with injuries all year. Dealt with them in the spring, has gone on the injury list a couple times. He's back now. First start off the IL for I think the second or third time this year. Only threw 45 pitches in his rehab start. Probably not going to go very deep here. They have been extremely careful with him. Even before this latest injury, they were like, we're going to back off on Wu. We're going to make sure he stays healthy. He was throwing his last two starts before injury were 64 pitches and 59 pitches, with a bunch of 60s and 70s mixed in throughout the year. Like, it's unlikely he's going to go very deep, and we don't know what kind of stuff he's going to come back with. The bat's projecting 3.4 here, so it's not like this is like a crazy high, hit rate, about 55%. But at plus 140, that's really good.
Yeah, it's better than a coin flip, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. So, and there's always a chance he gets hurt again in the start, because that's kind of that's part of his profile now. So
is there more of a worry with a lower body injury, or do you like have more of which one could be re-triggered within a start, like a lower body injury or like a shoulder or arm injury?
I'm not enough of a biomechanical expert to say with any confidence.
No, but if you said like a lower body injury would be the easier one to re-injure, that would probably be. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case sometimes. It's just
Certainly
because
possible.
Just because I think the narrative would be like, oh, shoulder injury is scarier, but it'd be interesting to see how much that lower half coming back from a hamstring injury. 8 starts, 5 and 8 to the under on this number at full leash, which is wild. Like, I don't usually just like throwing out those trends, but even when he's good, 2.2 innings pitched in his lone high A Everett start. So all-star break just around the corner. There's really no need to push him in this spot.
There really isn't.
And I didn't see, I know Luis Castillo pitched yesterday. I don't know how far he went. I would assume he's Luis Castillo and got his 18 outs. So the bullpen's probably not in a terrible place.
Yeah, I actually didn't look at that, but yeah, I think you're going to be right. Couple good calls in the chat. Dakuchi Betts says if you can get minus 160 off market at the 4.5, that's good. I don't know where it has that, but that would be a good number. Blue says minus 167 at Patano, so that I would be fine with. I think the best I saw was like minus 185. So if you're getting a minus 160 or minus 165 on the 4.5, that's probably fine to take too.
Yeah, even that's a good point that Yank says the Mariners cruise. Like, I don't have to look at the FanDuel depth chart right now there, knowing that they probably could have cruised with the B bullpen with a giant lead yesterday after Jack Cock left, I think 5-0, and they piled on still.
Yeah. This bullpen looks really rested for behind him, so that's good.
Awesome. So I am waiting for the 365 move, which should probably be, I would assume. I'm hoping I can get the 130. So the 140 is incredible there if you have ESPN on that point. Let's get to the next one. Another interesting one. 365 DK or MGM. I believe they all have the same price right now. 365 was 5 points higher, longer, but it's back down to this number. Game in question, Minnesota, San Francisco. Apologies for the late night. You can enjoy your Friday, not think about it, and then just check in before you put your head on the pillow. Let's go, Minnesota, San Francisco. All right, let's go to the Herbies, bud. Herbie. Hits, runs, and RBI. I sweated out one of these yesterday so bad. Comes up, Young, 0. He has 0 at the moment. Guy in front of him gets on, gets to second, defensive indifference. It's a wild pitch. He goes to third. So now all of a sudden a single and the RBI would lose it. And I'm like, no.
Jeez.
And then he hit him with the next pitch. I'm like, yes. And then all he had is a run. Yeah, it's a really fun market. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see if our 125 is there. It is. All right, play number 2. Our final play today. Only 2 going out. Let's go. San Diego's Manuel Margot. Under 1.5 Herbies plus 125. Manuel Margot under 1.5 Herbies plus 125. Now, this one's so funny. Like, Larnach always pops on your hits, and you're like, he hits out of the 3-hole in Minnesota. They'll pinch hit anybody in that lineup in any spot.
Yeah, they will. And they certainly do it with Margot. 49% pinch hit risk rate in the bat today. Facing Kyle Harrison, not fully stretched out post injury. I can't remember I think this is his first start. I think he made 1 rehab. Not going to be on like a super short leash, like certainly not like Woo level leash. But he threw about 70, 72 pitches, I think, in his last start. So he'll probably be around 85, maybe 90. And, Margot is a guy who gets pinch hit for and is not actually that good. And we are super unprofitable on him this year, but I expect that to turn around.
As Yahtzee says, please don't say Margot. It's been a while.
It's crazy how what kind of record we have on Margot this year. When you look at his overall stat line and you're like, how am I down so much on this guy? He's hitting
David Peralta hits 800 when I bet on his under hits.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But the process on him is sound. It's just been the days we've bet on him, he has done something.
All right. No. He, like I said, might hit at a 3 spot, but Minnesota pretty much pinch hits anywhere. As Derek said, 49% pinch hit risk facing that short leash lefty. Projects for 1.6. And Oracle is a pitcher's park, right? Like it's not, or is it a neutral park? It's not a hitter's park.
It's not a hitter's park. Yeah. No, it's closer to neutral. Definitely hurts homers.
David Hayward says Peralta's Rod Carew when I bet on him. Absolutely. It's insane. Yesterday, like it's betting hits is nuts, right? Like yesterday I was on Jorge Mateo. Steals cruising through everybody. I see 2 hits. 7th inning. I'm like, sweet. And I do my thumb thing down the line. Oh no. 1 hit. Yeah. Good old 84 mile an hour off the bat double with 2 out. You're just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
But 160 is 160. I think he got it at 180, so nothing wrong with that. He's 9-6. Margot is 9-6 to the under over his last 15 starts, and he's just not facing a lot of right-handed hitting. I think he's hitting 212 versus right-handed hitters versus 300 versus lefties. So let's get this going. Anything there in the question? Yesterday is a good question, Jack Connor, especially with wind, rain concerns. What's that?
They're asking about Cole Reagans, who's kind of been on that like don't bet his unders list even when the bat wants you to. Like I don't bet Reagan's unders. I don't bet Skeen's unders. Kevin Roth has this yellow-green today, so it doesn't look like the chance of rain is that high. I do know the bat kind of likes Reagan's under today.
Yeah, I was looking into it. I kind of was almost sold on it.
Yeah, we're getting to once we start to get deeper into the season, like things. The reason I didn't want to bet Reagan's unders earlier in the year was because he completely revamped his whole pitch arsenal basically midway through last season. The bat wasn't fully accounting for that. Like you look on FanGraphs now, like the bat has him as a 10K per 9 kind of guy. He's at 11 this year. It's getting closer to where his true talent should be, but I still don't think I'm betting his unders. And the rain, there's not enough of a risk for me to kind of push it into bet territory today. So I'm still off of Reagan's lines.
Full bullpen, if that's something that breaks you over the threshold, anybody there? I don't know. It's just it's such subjective talk that you can say like, oh, it's the All-Star break. There's no need to push anybody, but without actually backing that up statistically, it's tough to actually put it into the handicap.
Yeah, it really is. And he's just such a different guy than most of the historical data. Like you look at his stuff plus on FanGraphs, it was 93 2 years ago. And it's 109 now. Like it's just, he's a completely different guy. So he's one of those rare exceptions where I don't think the projection has a perfect handle on who he actually is.
I like it. I like it. I like it. And also a hat tip to you and your projections. Paul Skeens under 5.5 hits or under 4.5 hits plus 130 was popping very well yesterday.
Yeah, that worked out nicely.
Yeah, I didn't do it, but I was real close to hitting that one. But
I saw some people counting the over on I think 4.5 or over 5.5 on him, and I'm like, this is Paul Skeens, guys. Like, just because I don't know, I think it was like a game log play or something. Like, don't do game log plays, guys. Do projection plays.
Yeah, agreed. That was one I was kicking myself with, but no, there was lots of things popping with the projections yesterday. But let's cruise into that. We got Brian Wu at a gigantic number, possibly on a short leash after getting just 8 outs in his lone rehab start at plus one. What do we get? 40 over at ESPN, 138 at FanDuel, waiting for 365 to flip, which should have the next biggest number. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 130-ish. And then Manuel Margot leading us into the weekend with some late plays here, under 1.5 Herbies. Hopefully doesn't see the right-handed pitcher when he comes in. Third spot, like we said, Larnach, anybody in the third spot? The Canadian, who was the Canadian that used to hit the leadoff in that spot? I don't think he did it. They used to pull him too, right? The left-handed hitter.
I can't tell you who's Canadian on the Twins. Sorry.
No, the leadoff hitter from last year that they used to always. Someone in the chat. Give it to me. Someone in the chat before I go. But like, I've never seen a lineup that's just like, yeah, here are my top guys, and I have no issue.
Was it Julian last year?
Yeah. Edward Julian. That's who it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've followed Minnesota, you'll know that they'll go anywhere taking people out. So about a 49 pinch hit risk there for Manuel Margot. And if you're betting pinch hits percentages and you're looking at Derek's numbers, the books have actually caught on quite well to the pinch hit risk because they don't pop as much as they used to, it feels, no?
Yeah, there hasn't been as many of them lately, which is unfortunate. I mean, it's kind of time of the year where a lot of the pinch hit guys, like, if a book is just using like their overall numbers for the year to set the line, like that pinch hit risk is going to be baked into those numbers at this point. So I'm hoping as the season goes on, we start seeing some call ups, we start seeing some more random guys, and their numbers aren't going to reflect the pinch hit risk rate yet. And we're going to be able to, milk them for a week or so. I feel like that's kind of what it was the last couple of years where you'd bet an edge on a guy. For a little while, the overall numbers and the book line would catch up, but then a new guy would come around. We haven't really had a new guy like that in a little while, but I'm hoping we see some soon.
Who's our Colorado guy that we need back?
Amador.
Yes, Amador. I keep thinking Tolvar, but yeah, Amador. And Jack Connor says, we knew that DK took away hitter Ks, but MGM.
Yeah, they disappeared sometime in the last week or so too, I think, which is just cowardly, if you ask me. Just cowardly.
Yeah, but that just leaves Bet365 in a very vulnerable position without a market to match to see how far they off, because a lot of that time is we need to move it. Where are we going to move it to? Let's see where the other books are.
Yeah, Hard Rock has them, thankfully, but I mean, I'm really hoping that they stick around and that. I mean, early in the year, we're like, let's hope more books add hitter strikeouts. It's going to be great. Now it's like, please, no more books. Take them away.
Yeah, no. All right. Let's call it a Friday, Derek. Appreciate you back. Appreciate there everybody in the chat. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is the Bat X Release Show. MLB player props powered by the Bat. That's it. Thank you to producer Brady this week. Big shout out. Hit that like button for producer Brady. Give himself a pat on the back. We'll see you back here Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody.